And so welcome everybody to the Vortex Healing Center's podcast. You want to say hello, Grandmother Sue?
Hi there, everyone.
So I was inspired. I wanted to jump on a call today and have a quick discussion about a New York Times article that came out today about a nun in America who has been posting for the last 18 months, daily posts about Memento Mori, which is the Latin phrase for basically facing your own death, remembering your death. And I think the concept of death has come up so massively for every human has been touched in some way, shape, or form by death during COVID. It's brought to light the fact that a lot of people haven't, I think, realized that how mortal we all are. This physical body has very real limitations. So what was your take on the article, Sue?
It was really interesting. There was a lot of things I agreed with, but I also think that, what we focus on, we feed. And I think there's enough. I'm actually just getting some weird looks from you. So,
No, you're all good. You're all good.
okay, well, I'll get off.
Keep going.
Yeah, so what you focus on, you feed. And I tend to think, having recently had like a lot of other people had a brush with your own mortality, and you think, well, you start to think about it a lot more. And then I realized I was actually creating a lot of the problems I was going through. So I had to stop focusing on it.
Yeah,
So,
my understanding of and what I really enjoyed about the article was her take on it, not just that it's a morbid thing about, oh, I'm gonna die. It's about saying, to me, more in the Carpe Diem sense of saying, you got a life to live today. Today you're alive, today what will you do? And even though the article doesn't touch on that a lot, I'm getting more that feel from her discussion on it. And this is still a young woman who was a punk rocker in her youth, very rebellious and atheist until her mid-20s, and this is her expression of how she's living that. To me, I would call it more the Carpe Diem, that live your life to the fullest today. But one of the really interesting things I also found about that is that they talk a lot about crystal skulls, and she collects them, and people send her millions of skulls, even rosary beads with skulls in them. And my impression of the crystal skulls as well, growing up and until the last 10 years, maybe, when I got to know the skulls better, I always thought of them as something morbid and connected with death as well. My understanding of the skulls, again, I disagree. I think we both disagree with the nun on this, and the tone of the article is that, to me, skulls were created long before even the concept of human death, and it was a way for the ancients to pass on knowledge to humans. And I look at it more as the skulls, all crystalline products, minerals contain information. And what I was told, and that was how it was explained to me after meeting many of the very famous skulls like Max and Shana Ra. And I also was able to attend in New York on the 12th of the 12th of 2010, a gathering of some of the largest skulls on the planet, and the largest crystal skulls, and the smallest, and the oldest, and some new creations, and some handmade ones, and some that spent their lives in Tibet. And I even met the Atlantean crystal there. But my knowledge of that was that this is an encoding of information for humans to be able to absorb the information from other realms and other higher intelligences that resonate with our human brain. So that was especially something I wanted to talk about the article and how people view skulls. You've been using the skulls for a while. Now let's see which one you've chosen today, Sue.
I have my little lapis lazuli, but this one has the elongated skull, which actually holds, supposedly, is from the higher realms. Again, it's from the Syrians or the Lemurians base. So the knowledge that this little one contains is taking me back to where we're actually working at the moment, frequency wise. So it's a nice little skull, but again, you know, I didn't like skulls either, and not until you got a few, and I said, oh well. And then you gave me this little lapis lazuli one, and it's been quite helpful. He's a very nice little friend of mine now. As for the knowledge in it, I'm hoping that I've received a lot of it. But as he doesn't say, so you finished your download, I don't know. But they are sources of wisdom and knowledge, and again, what you put into them or the work that you put into them to receive stuff back is all important. And they're not going to give you something unless you ask for it, and you've got to know what you want to ask for, and that's always the hardest part.
Yeah, so I want to get back to the original part of the article of the concept, and you talked about it, of facing your own death. How do you think other people have adapted to that concept to be able to face their own fear of death, especially during the last 18 months with COVID? Any thoughts on that?
It's an interesting concept. We don't think about death until it's forced upon us, and I know I never gave it a thought until my mother died, and I was nowhere near prepared for the amount of trauma and pain that brought. And then later on, my sister in particular has left a huge impression. And maybe if I had a better understanding of death, which I don't think so, because I've believed in life after death anyway for as long as I've been here. And I think the concept of acceptance of death may help a bit, but it's the loss of the person that has always been the big trigger. That's what triggers a lot of growth in us, because we have to find answers and we have to find acceptance somewhere through the maze of pain and the loss. So it's a very difficult question to answer, or statement to figure out, because acceptance of death doesn't really mean you're going to lose fear of it. I know I said before I had a little bit of a confrontation with my own immortality, but that surprised me. It didn't worry me in the slightest, but it was the lead up to it and the ongoing stuff that was more of a worry. So yeah, I have the acceptance of death, but not of the death process. So somewhere in there, maybe that acknowledging it every day and having the little icons like the nun does may give me a much better acceptance of the whole process.
Yeah, it really kind of hit me, and that's why I just said I thought I'd like to have that discussion, and hopefully we'll get some questions from people in the audience as they come up, and we'll respond via comments. Or you can send us a message on Facebook Messenger, or send us an email at vortexhealingcenter@gmail.com. Because I think it is such an important aspect of who we are physically. We all know we're here for a limited amount of time, and none of us knows how much that time is. And the question of being able to enjoy every day to its fullest is something that we forget. We all act as if we're going to be here forever, and we're not. We have limitations, and sometimes those limitations make us not want to be here forever. And so the goal to me is always to be as fully connected as we can be to our higher self, which doesn't live in this realm. This is what we have to bring down and assimilate into this physical body. At least that's how I view it. Do you have a different take on that, Sue, or what are your thoughts?
I'm very different to you in many ways, and the way I deal with things, like I know when I get sick, I go out and do stupid things and things that I'm not capable of doing just to prove to myself that I'm not really sick. It's a warped way of doing it, but it's also encompassing living life to the fullest. So to see what you can overcome to actually to go out and do stuff when you're not feeling like doing it. And I think if we're going to live our life to the fullest, we really do have to motivate ourselves to get off our bottom and do stuff. Motivation is the hardest part of living life to the fullest. It's kind of like
Well, and
saying,
the
I could
continuing
do this,
motivation.
but
Yeah, you can be motivated for one day or 1 hour, but that continuing motivation to keep getting up and to be better and better at who we are, better at our relationships every single day.
it's like that saying, I could change my life at any time, but which time should I choose?
The answer is always right now.
Not necessarily. Timing has to be right, but we have to, like I said, be motivated. You have to be in the mind space to say, okay, today I'm going to change. This is it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But if you do it when you're not ready, you're going to fail anyway. So there's always that bit.
But I think there's always something that we can do to feel even slightly better, to make sure that we're fully present here on this earth while we're still here, because there will be a time when we're not here. And so I think particularly in the spiritual world and in the uh, kind of new age world, people are thinking, oh, I want to go back to my home planet. I want to go back home. And I think a lot of that thinking ignores the fact that we're here in this physical body to manifest all of that knowledge here and to live that happiness and to feel that joy and to feel all the things that humans feel. And I see a lot of people who talk like that a lot, and I think they're not paying enough attention to why you're still in your physical body and things that still can be done and could be done while you're still here.
Again, living life is the only thing we're here for. We're here to live our life to the full, to do what we can to be the best we can, but to enjoy ourselves. Mainly, people forget to do that. They get so caught up in, I've got to like get married, have kids, raise a family, get enough money for retirement. And by the time you look up and think, well, I've got time to do something now, I think, well, I don't feel like doing it now. I'm so tired. But it's looking and being aware and waiting for opportunities to present themselves. And this is what people don't realize. There's opportunities that are going to pop in every time, but only if you're quiet. There's so many opportunities out there in the world, but if you're too busy, you won't see them. So
Yeah,
you've got to have
absolutely.
that quiet time.
I think that's still a major reason that, I mean, Australia, here where we live, we've gotten back to business as normal. Life is as normal apart from major travel plans. But I think there's a reason that many cultures around the planet are still in relative lockdown and unable to do as many of the things they would like to do. And I think that quiet time that's been forced on everyone with COVID, I think some people are starting to wake up. More and more people are waking up every day. But a lot of these reflective moments, everyone has a massive opportunity now to be much more reflective. There's less commuting time, there's less travel time, less flights, less of a whole lot of things going on, and more time to do those things that most people said they wanted to do, which was spend more time with their family, you know.
It has taught us an awful lot about being happy where we are and finding our happiness in the circumstances we're currently in. It's a necessary thing, and we're actually learning to do that quite well. I mean, I love being at home and I always have, but it's taken on a whole new meaning to me. If I go for a walk, I just really appreciate the beauty and think, oh, look at that and look at that. And the way the sunlight's hitting the dog fur. And it is just it's really brought me, I don't know, so I suppose so deep inside myself that the beauty I found there is actually reflecting in my environment, which is a rather weird way to put it because it's normally the other way around, but it's not. It's only when you tap into your own beauty can you see the beauty in others and the beauty around you. And that's a huge bonus of lockdown. It also sorts a lot of relationships that shouldn't be together. A lot of times we put off separating or going our own paths because they're not complementary to each other anymore. And so many people are finding when they're locked in the same space for such a long time, they really have to do something about their environment and their peace of mind. So that all comes up and that's part of it. So you get to move on from things you probably shouldn't still be in.
Yeah. Well, if we come back to that memento mori, if you had a constructive way that you think people might be able to practice that, how would you advise people to practice it?
I think if I had to do something like that every day, I would have to put something before it, like, I am so grateful that I'm alive, and the world here is such a beautiful place. I feel wonderful. I feel love. I'm so grateful. But I also know when I leave this dimension, the next place to go to is going to be even better.
Yeah, I think that's a wonderful way to wrap that up, and exactly what I was looking for people to hear from this discussion, that it isn't about focusing on death, it's about focusing on the gratitude of being alive and knowing that we have a limited amount of time here. And how do you want to spend your time?
For many years, my motivation, because I'm basically very lazy and relaxed and laid back, I lacked motivation, but I gave myself a motto and it was always dare to be. And I carried that through many, many parts of my life. And if I saw an opportunity or felt something that might work, I'd say, dare to be, come on. And it would actually motivate me to say, not look back, not look whether it'll work, not look right, not look left, not look down. Just think, yeah, I'm going for it. I'm going to dare to be. And that really sustained me for many years when I had 1 step forward and 2 step back syndrome. I decided I was going to go 1 step forward and then another step forward. And I had to use those principles to block out but what if it doesn't, and what if I fail, and what if it's not right? If it's not right, it's a lesson. If it's right, it's a bonus. Either way you learn. So that motto created a motivation in me that really did help an awful lot.
Well, I think that is an awesome way to end this little conversation, unless there's something else you'd like to add, Sue?
No, I just think, we've got such a lot going on. There's a lot of the energies here coming in on the planet now are very uncomfortable, and it's not putting us in a good physical place. So start to have a bit more gratitude, spread the gratitude through your life, through your body, and know that the next stage is even better.
Yeah, and I think this is a very important conversation for, I hope a lot of people get to listen to this, and I hope they get to tune in to themselves, their own feelings about this conversation and about the concept of death, their own mortality. And I hope this is useful to you. If it is, please leave us a comment and let us know your thoughts on the subject of Memento Mori. So have a great day, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.